2003. I was in Miami with myself, David Hay, Gary Logan, and Adam Booth. We were out there because David Hay was going to be fighting them, so we went out there for a training camp out there. And I remember watching that fight in a bar on Ocean Drive, and it was incredible what I witnessed. It was like, wow, this is crazy. But when you're relying on, not saying that Roy Jones done all the fundamentals, he does, but he was supremely gifted. He had fundamentals, but he was a speedster. But when you start slowing up a bit, you can get timed, you can get hit, you can get hurt, right? But for many years, we never saw Roy Jones get hit. So for years and years and years, we never saw Roy Jones get hit. Then all of a sudden, you see him get hit in his fight against Antonio Otava. He gets hit, and he gets knocked out.
Boom.
Right? So we're looking at that now, we're saying, wow. So when someone's relying on toughness, or I could just keep on walking forward and getting hit, you're getting hit. Everybody has a gauge inside of them, just like a computer game, right? Like you're playing a computer game, like you're playing Street Fighter. Yeah, I mean, like I don't know who your favorite character on Street Fighter is, right? Right?
Ryu.
Right. Yeah, that's right. I love Blanca because Blanca always reminded me of Derek Chisora, right? Look at the hair. Anyway, so when you're watching that, you got a gauge, it's going down, right? But then you got to go into a next round, but your gauge hasn't gone back up, it's still there. It's going to go down, it's going to go down, it's going to go down. So everyone's thinking, wow, you're so tough, then eventually it's going to go. So I like guys who practice the noble art. I'm a big supporter and lover of the noble art and scientific boxing. The crash bang wob is okay, but I appreciate that, but I don't go crazy over that.
Do you think that's what happened with Mike Tyson? We had that peekaboo style who's really good at his head movement and a real big puncher. But, when he started getting a little bit older, his movement was less, so he got caught more? Or what do you think the downfall of Mike Tyson was?
I know you most probably watched an interview with Evander Holyfield, when Evander Holyfield was saying like young Mike Tyson would move his head side to side on certain motion, and then as he got slower, as he changed trainer as well, he was with a guy called Kevin Rooney, then he left, him and Kevin Rooney broke up, and then he was working with Aaron Snowland. And when he was working with those guys, it's like the movement kind of stopped. So you could time Mike Tyson. When that goes, it's not like there's a comparison. Like Mike Tyson really had a really good chin. Right? You got to think about it. He had a really, really good chin. But, and using like Tyson as, if we go back to November of 1986, when he beat Trevor Berbick in 2 rounds to become the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. A lot of people can talk about Mike Tyson. Well, Mike Tyson wasn't really that great. Mike Tyson was all. I want people to realize this. When you were 20 years old, what were you doing? When you were 20 years old, at 20 years old, you can't even urinate straight, right? Right. I just want you to realize this, right? And Mike Tyson at age 20, this is spookily scary, knocked out Trevor Berbick to claim the WBC heavyweight championship of the world. And Trevor Berbick wasn't known. Trevor Berbick has been in with good guys, been in with Larry Holmes, who's an all-time great, most probably one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. Beat Pinkland Thomas, who had one of the best jabs I have seen in heavyweight boxing since the great Sonny Liston, right? And he walked through Trevor Berbick like a hot knife through butter. At 20. Realize that. That's the thing that makes Mike Tyson so great. Forget about everything else that he did. Not only that, but he could intimidate everybody. Everyone's fighting to fight him, right? Forget about all of that. But that's what made Mike Tyson great, because at 20, what discipline was instilled in that young man from Customato, right? To say, right, I want this tunnel vision, focus, and discipline. And for that, I give Mike Tyson all the credit in the world. I don't care anything else that he did. I'm saying you became the youngest man ever to win the World Heavyweight Championship. And then you went on to become undisputed champion as well. You beat good men in Tony Tucker. You beat good men in Bone Crusher Smith. You beat good men in Tony TNT Tubbs. You fought good men, right? We would say, oh, but they weren't great. No, but they were good men. And technically, they're head and shoulders. A lot of those guys are head and shoulders technically above the heavyweights that we've got today. Even though heavyweight boxing changed now, right? Usyk is a different kind of monster, right? But I'm saying to you, but it is what it is. Mike Tyson's an all-time great, man.
He's one of my favorite boxers ever. You know,
I can see with the hair now. I'm just surprised you didn't get the little side part in the head.
he's
I
just
see the fade there, Sean.
he's just. I want to be like, I'm Mike Tyson, you know, I'm the best ever. Like, he was just so entertaining inside and outside of the ring. And the thing is, he just didn't give a shit. He was just him all the time. He just said what he wanted to.
Well, he didn't originally start off like that.
No?
I mean, if you look at Mike Tyson's story, like when he was up in Catskills, when he was being trained or mentored, right, by the late great Customato, Mike Tyson wasn't filmed as this bad boy to say what you want. He was very, very respectful. You'd watch all his, because back then, like 86, you'd wake up early in the morning and you get the reruns that we on ITV, and you'd watch Mike Tyson, and I really liked Mike Tyson then. And then I really started to hate Mike Tyson because people were saying like, "Oh, he's better than Muhammad Ali." And I remember I was going livid. I was like, "What, are you crazy?"
Yeah.
Right? And I remember this. I remember, was it February 25th, 1989? He fights Frank Bruno, right? And I remember Des Lynam, who I respect, and I remember Des Lynam saying like, "Oh, a lot of people are comparing him to Joe Frazier, but you know he's far better than that." And I was like, you know what I mean? I was got off him then because people was kind of comparing like he could beat Muhammad Ali, and nobody can beat Muhammad Ali. I was like, but yeah, I really went off Mike Tyson, but Mike Tyson at that time there, when he lost those handlers who were around him, like he had a close friend Steve Lott who not recently, a few years ago he passed away. Steve Lott was around him, you know. Bill Caton was not the nicest person. If you ever read Mike Tyson's book Undisputed Truth, it's a really, really good book. I would say to anybody, go get that book. But when he had those people around him, more so Customato, he was more grounded. Kevin Rooney, he was more grounded.
Yeah.
But then I understand how Don King wormed his way in with him, and you know, Mike, you're not being real, Mike. You gotta be with the brothers and stuff, and it went pear shaped. But in all honesty, hand on heart, for someone to become world heavyweight champion at age 20, come on. I don't want to hear anything else from anyone.
Spencer, I want to ask you a question. You're an ex-boxer yourself. I felt your strength in your hand just by shaking it, and I'm like, I forgot he's a boxer. He's a fighting man. He's got that energy inside him. But Mike Tyson now is what, 58, 59? You're an ex-boxer, so you knew how hard you used to train, probably still in the gym, keep yourself trim and stuff. How much of that strength... There you go. Don't start stripping now. But how strong is Mike Tyson now as a 50? I mean, if he was there in front of you and he offered you out, would you be like, you've got a chance?
Yo, I'm going to tell you a story, right? I was head of sports for a social media company called Disciple Media. So we're going back a few years now. We're going back a decade now. Wow. We're going back a decade. And we got out to Vegas because we was going to sign up Mike Tyson to do this app. So I'm there now, and my mate Brian Judah, who's Zab Judah's little brother,
okay,
he was like, "Yeah, I can sort it out for you, man. Like for you to come meet Mike Tyson, and you can pitch to him." But it wasn't. It's actually his wife Kiki. It was actually lovely, and the only reason why her name sticks out in my head because my daughter's name's Kiki as well, my eldest daughter. So we've gone out there to Vegas. So it's me and my business partner, who's like my mentor, a dear friend of mine, Julian Pitton. We go out to Vegas. And we left Vegas Convention Center, and Mike Tyson's doing a signing. So we've gone out there, and like one of Mike's friends, Greg, because I'm a historian. Mike's a mad historian as well. But he went up to Mike. He was like, "Oh, Mike, you gotta meet this guy Spence. We've met before as well. We met a couple times, because you gotta meet Spence. He's a mad historian, man. He knows way more shit than you. You know the Americans are, right?" It's this still Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Like, do you really think Mike Tyson really wants to hear like this
Yeah.
young kid knows more? I don't know if I know more than Mike Tyson, but I know that I'm more astute now because Mike Tyson will tell you like he's lived that life. You know what I mean? I don't even drink, I don't smoke. I mean, right. So we're there at the convention center and we shook hands and like, right. And this is prior to me just going to meet his wife. I met his wife, had a meeting with his wife, signed off a deal, said, great. So we've come back, we've come in there now,